for my God, fam. Sometimes I feel like my life has been shattered, but in the end, cause of Christ, it don't matter. You fall trying to climb so right your ladders. Devil right behind you with a dagger. That lean used to have me about to fall for the wrong master. Trapped in the walls of my mind, spiritually a bastard. As a teenager looking for a happy ever after. All I got in return was a heart that was scattered. Smoked up in the mind so my steps were staggered. Dreams to be a dope boy and a famous rapper. I was tripping thinking life didn't matter, but in the end, cause of Christ, my soul got collateral. Looking. Yo, what up, people? This your boy Carlos Miller, Prodigal Son. This is the Prodigal Son, baby. God is good, Jesus is great, and God don't make mistakes, you know what I mean? And we finna get right into the topic at hand, you know what I'm saying? And this topic is, I won't even call it a topic, story time. This is the first time I got shot at. And I was in the 4th grade. I was around 9, 10 years old, somewhere up in there. I was staying in Montgomery with my mom. My mom and my auntie had an apartment together. And I forgot the name of that apartment complex. You know what I'm saying? And I stayed in Montgomery years late even after that. And I don't even think I ever asked my mom what was the name of the apartment complex. But I remember I went to Flowers Elementary School. But yeah. So, you know, I had a lot of free time, you know what I'm saying, in that apartment complex. Like, man, like I was hanging out with a guy named Derek. And I think the other guy named, we were kids, but the other boy name was Darius. If I ain't mistaken, I think it was Darius. I was in the 4th. Derek was in like the 6th. He was in the 5th or the 6th, but I want to say he was in the 6th. And Darius was in the 7th grade. But we hung out together, man. We spent a lot of time together. Actually, that apartment complex was probably the first time I ever spit a rhyme. I remember these 2 twin boys that stayed there. I forgot their names. And I remember they had a sister, because I used to like their sister. But I remember freestyling for them. And that was probably one of the first times I ever remember freestyling, rapping. You know what I'm saying? And, but yeah, man, I remember, we just did what we did around there, man. Just roaming that big old apartment complex, just being kids. But I remember this one night, me and the guy Darius was hanging out. I think we was at my apartment or something like that. I don't remember how late it was, but I know it was dark outside. It was dark, not just getting dark. It was dark. And he asked me to walk him home, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, all right, but thinking about it now, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy because I was in the 4th grade. He was like in the 7th, and he asked me to walk him home. Don't know why. Maybe he felt something funny that night, you know what I'm saying? But he actually stayed in, I think it was like some houses or other little different kind of apartments, like right in front of the apartment complex, because he stayed like literally, I think it was a house or something, like right behind Hardee's. It was a Hardee's right there in front of the apartment complex. If I ain't mistaken, he stayed in it might was an apartment, but I can't really remember the setup, but it was a little different from ours. So I walked him home. Now, the distance from walking to his house, his place to my place was a little distance, you know what I'm saying? It was a little distance. I can't remember how far it was, but I know over a mile probably. Probably so. I just can't remember. But it was a little distance, being that young as a kid. But so after I walked him home, I walked him all the way home. After I walked him home, on the way back to my apartment complex, or my apartment, from a distance, from a far distance.
Daddy.
Huh?
This cool.
Okay. From a far distance. I don't know if the guy shouted. From my memory, if I ain't mistaken, I thought I remember him shooting the lady. I just remember her screaming and him standing over her. You know what I'm saying? But I was a far distance away when I seen it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if he just ended up looking down my way or what it was, but he looked down at me and he started pointing the gun my way and he started shooting. So I started running. But what I did was I went the back way to my apartment. You know what I'm saying? My apartment building. So I ran behind the back of all the apartment buildings to get to mine, because it was like a whole bunch of apartment complex buildings that led up to mine. So I could run all the way behind them to get to mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd be like, soon as it finished, like, I think I'd see my door. So while I'm running, I get to my door, and as I was finna shut it, the girl that babysitted us, well, she lived there with us. I think she had ran away from home or something. She was like 16. But she was like our designated babysitter. When I was running to shut the door, she bust in as I was finna shut the door. So I think he must have had to be out there shooting or something, because she was running the house because of like the bullets or something too. You know what I'm saying? But all this time, like years later, probably when I hit like 17 or something, it came back to my mind that situation happened. Like, after that night, I forgot all about it. I was like, it's like I went on about my life. I wasn't traumatized about it. It was like, just like, dog, that happened. You know what I'm saying? I went to sleep, woke up, didn't think nothing else about it till I hit like 17. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy. And sometimes I think back now and I be like, man, was it a dream or something? Because, man, that's crazy that, like, that just slipped my mind that I forgot it for all them years. But the whole reason I know it wasn't a dream was because of a few things. One, I remember I had to walk him home. That wasn't a dream. I did walk him home. I don't even know if I told him about it the next day. But I remember I had to walk him home. And on the way back from walking home is when I encountered that situation. And then two, me running to the door, and once I get in the door and it's finna always shut, the girl that babysitted us, she bust through the door. You know what I'm saying? Like, say, she was like our designated babysitter, you know, and I used to be crazy over her because to me she looked just like Ashanti. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a real crazy crush fetish for this girl. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, those are the things that I think back now. I'll be like, man, I know it can't not be true, because I remember those pieces of the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, that could have been a bad dream. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it just came back to me out of nowhere, man. Like, but it's amazing because, you know, sometimes in life when you're young, child development, you growing, you don't realize the stuff you're programming and processing all the time. Now, it might come out and reenact in certain ways with what you do and how you living, but you take it in so much as a youngster, you know what I'm saying, as a young person, you know what I'm saying, develop into whatever you're going to become, that you don't realize all the stuff that you're soaking up that's a sponge to you, you know what I'm saying? And that was the situation I feel as though with me in that situation, man, you know what I'm saying? But that apartment complex, like, I can't say it totally changed my life, but just staying there was like, I just remember parts of my life that came from that. Like, I remember staying at that apartment complex, but it was a little bit before that, because my mom had stayed there at one point in time at another apartment complex. I don't know if she left and got another apartment, but she stayed at another another building at one time before I moved up there with her. And I come for the summer to visit. And I remember one of my mama auntie friends that they still friends today. She stayed over there. And I remember across from her was a guy that stayed there. And I remember I used to go over there and play the video games sometime. And, you know, man, they had like all the video games and like all the Dragon Ball Z shows and just all kind of stuff, man. And that's when I first got introduced to like Allen Iverson. I remember the playoffs, the finals with Allen Iverson, man. Like, it was just a lot of iconic things happened being in that apartment complex, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, like I say, I did my first freestyle over there, man. And, you know, it's just certain things that stuck with me, you know what I'm saying, as a youngster. But it's just amazing the development of your brain, that something like that, it just poofs, come back to you, you know what I'm saying, later on in life. But yeah, man, that's the first time I got shot at, man. Like 9 years old, man. Yeah, 9 years old. 9 years old. Well, I say this, I'm sorry. First time I got shot at, that's the first time. I think that's probably the only time I actually got shot at. Now, I done had guns drawn on me. I done had situations happen. But I think that was the only time I actually can say that I actually necessarily been shot at. Now, I'd have been in the midst of some crossfires or two people shooting at one another, but I can't necessarily say I directly got shot at other than that time.
Daddy.
So, it's cold, but the air is off. It's hot, girl. I'm feeling the heat.
It's rain.
Huh?
It's rain.
It's rain? Oh, okay, yeah, it's raining. But thank God for where I'm at now, man. Just thank God for his saving grace, his mercy, and everything in between. Because guess what, man? If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have this beautiful thing right here. And I wouldn't be married for 10 years. So God is good. God is great, man. Just know this. You're never too far lost that you can't be found. Because I was found when I was lost. I was lost when I was found. And this is the prodigal son brought back by the cross, baby.